Star Wars Jedi Survivor was the most forgotten game of 2023. Due to this game's absolutely abysmal launch, it was sort of swept under the rug after a bunch of absolute hitters came out in 2023. When this game launched, it didn't even work really, especially on PC, so I was forced to wait to play it until now, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I loved the first game, and I was really excited to play this one, but I never got a chance to because, well, it didn't work. But now it does, and I am happy that I went and played it. And I could say with certainty that this is the sequel that the first game deserved.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
This game improves on every facet of what Fallen Order was, except maybe the story. But in terms of gameplay, the customization, the ambiance, the combat, it's just a better version of the first game, which was already really good. But starting with the story, the game did a wonderful job at developing Cal's character as he's grown up in an utter shitstorm of death and destruction. In this game, Cal goes through much more internal struggle as he attempts to not lose who he is in the fight against the Empire. It kept me interested in the story regardless if I didn't care much about the storylines themselves, but seeing how Cal started reacting to things going on in his life kept me dialed into the story itself.
You are strong and wise.
Cal.
And I am very proud of you.
While the story is not the most mind-melting thing ever, and can feel rather tropey at certain times, but one thing I will say is they are not afraid to take major risks, and they're not safe at all, which I respect to a certain degree. Nobody is safe from being killed off just to show the tyranny of the Empire in this era of Star Wars, and I think that's exactly what you need it to feel like, and I feel like they nailed that for sure. But not only did they build off the characters from the first game, but I think they made it feel like it's in the Star Wars universe, which I feel like is a pretty hard thing to capture. They nailed the time period, and the world itself that you explore is very treacherous and also whimsical, and they have a good balance of both. And I think they nailed the overall ambiance of what a Star Wars game should feel like. Especially Pyloon's Saloon. It's so cool to be in a bar in Star Wars. I would give anything. For me, this game deserves its most credit for its combat and its movement. They built off of the first game, adding a bunch of different lightsaber stances you can use 2 at a time and mix them up in combat, and man, it just made for some really interesting and fun combinations. The fluidity of the movement and the executions make the replayability of this game for me skyrocket. And they added some really cool settings like a hyper-realism type setting where the lightsaber does way more damage, but you also can die in one hit too. And it's just kind of fun to mess around with. But I'm currently on my second run-through. I did the first run-through with the cross-guard and the double-bladed stances, and now I'm doing double-bladed and dual-wield, and just seeing how they kind of mesh together. And that, again, adds so much replayability when you can mix and match and change the entire way that you play. Now, one thing I will say about this game is that some of the enemies are actually fucking broken. They are way too overpowered sometimes, but that also didn't stop me from feeling overpowered at certain times as well.
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Oh, hell no!
And to whomever created Ogdo Bogdo and his whole family, you have a court date with me for all of the suffering that you caused me. Jokes aside, though, I cannot help but compliment this combat. Jesus, that was a fucking mouthful. But time and time again, I was dumbfounded by the executions and the sound design. Honestly, the sound the lightsaber makes when you cut someone in half, it's perfect. I love it. I really have to commend the stances as well. It adds so much replayability to learn a new lightsaber stance, get all the skills for it, and you just have to change the way that you play. And my favorite part is that they're all good and they're all fun in their own way. None of them are bad and all of them feel really nice. I've used all of them and it's just really cool, honestly.
The Jedi, get ready to die!
I really only have a couple complaints about this game, and one of them is this guy. I thought he was a cornball from the beginning, like trying to be my best friend immediately. Like, I don't even know who you are, dude. Back off. Like, chill. But yeah, he's just a total cornball, and I can't stand him. Nothing against his character or anything. Like, I don't really care. He's just, I don't know. I hate him. Whatever. I think one of the only drawbacks to this game was sometimes the world feels a little bit empty and you're kind of just running around. And I think a lot of the exploration was built using a mount, but no one really wants to use mounts. They added them, but they only gave us like this weird space giraffe and Yoshi, pretty much. Like, it kind of sucks. If you're a Jedi who wants to just like ride a horse, you know, you want to flip around and do cool shit. I mean, I'm not gonna ride Yoshi, sorry. But the actual map design itself, where like the levels take place and where you can explore after the game, not like the sort of open areas, I thought were really done well, just like the last game. Sort of the same God of War feel where the map's open world, but it's not really. Like, it's sort of linear and takes you down these sort of pathways, which I find really engaging and fun to complete the puzzles, do the jumping parkour. And there's even like parkour puzzles, which are just always fun to do. But yeah, I think that's everything. I just wanted to sort of sum up my playthrough and experience with the game, because after this game came out, I heard like absolutely nothing about it other than that don't buy it because it doesn't work. But now that I did finally play it, I wanted to, just make a video about it because I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat as I am. Just kind of forgot that it came out. But yeah, you're missing out on some good Star Wars content. If you enjoy Star Wars, you'll probably enjoy this game. So yeah. That's about it. See ya.
Goodbye, old friend. May the Force be with you.